Thank you so much, Pastor Washington, for that amazing introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, who you just heard from, Pastor Washington is the average breaker, the Be Your Own Bank average breaker. Let me tell you a little bit about him. I mean, he has a background that's unsurpassed. He's the author of the book, Let Average Go. And guess what? He was featured in the book Walking with the Wise with Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, and Mark Victor Hansen, who's the author of Chicken Soup of the Soul. I mean, we have someone who was the keynote speaker at the Essence Festival. He was the keynote speaker in the White House in 2010 under the Obama administration. Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed to be in his presence. He knows where he's going. He has a huge vision, huge heart, loves to have a great time. And if you have an opportunity to work with him, do not take that for granted. I know that I don't. Love him like a brother. And so I thank you once again for that introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Terrific Tuesday, right? We were compounding today. If you are new to this call, new to BYOB Basics, I want you to drop a 111 in the chat. If this is your first time joining us on BYOB Basics, drop a 111 in the chat. And if you are still learning how to perfect your skill, how to cash out, drop a 222 in the chat. If you took trade today, took profit today, drop a 777 in the chat. And if you are compounding your money, drop a 888 in the chat. So look at this, look at this, look at this. We have people from all around the globe being a part of the movement, being their own bank, walking it out, not just talking about it, but executing. And that's what this is all about tonight. Whether this is your first call or you've been on the call numerous times, you are going to walk away empowered, knowing exactly what you need to do to change your family tree forever, generational wealth, 6 figures in 6 months. Just imagine that. Being able to teach your children how to learn a simple skill, your grandchildren, and then they have an opportunity at the age of 18 to be financially set because they have been equipped. Isn't that a powerful notion? Well, it's all available. It's all here. It's all available because of the visionary. Be Your Own Bank is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. I want you to let that sink in just for a moment. Being a part of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind is a blessing. Why? Because we are walking out what Martin Luther King talked about in the civil rights movement, where we could have freedom to do what we wanted to do, be who we wanted to be in the professional realm, and not be in a position where we were boxed in. Guess what? There is no box. We've kicked the boxes down. We are now able to roam and spread our wings the way that we desire. And so with women's rights, we have an opportunity now to play on an even level playing field, ladies. And so that is why we are so excited about the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind and the only one in the history of mankind. And so we need to feel privileged because we are making history. See, the thing about creating history is that when you're in the midst of creating history, you don't realize what you're doing. You don't realize the impact that you're having. But if you are intentional, you do realize it. You do understand where this is headed. And we are headed to something huge, something monumental. 2 million families impacted, educated, empowered by March 28th, 2022. How? They're going to enroll. They're going to learn and profit just as we're doing every single day, just as we're committed to doing and leading by example. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about our mastermind team. Let me see. I am looking for my slides, and I want you to just bear with me because you need to see why we are here tonight. So I need to find the right slide so that you can understand why we are a part of this movement and who created this movement. And so it's all about following the leader, making sure that you understand where this was born. Here we go. Here we go. I got it. I got it. So just bear with me. I want you to see the visionary, the gentleman who thought about being your own bank and then introducing this concept to the world. So we have none other than the visionary himself, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. He is someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, love, respect, honor him because he takes the time out to coach and mentor anyone who wants to take their financial life to the next level, anyone who wants to take their spiritual life to the next level, anyone who wants to take any area of their life to the next level. He is well equipped to lead you in the right direction. He's led tens of thousands of people over the last 2 decades to lives that they only dreamt about before. He's a business success coach and mentor. He has a background in mortgage lending, both on the residential side and commercial and real estate development. He's a minister, and he created the Be Your Own Bank movement because he saw what was happening behind the scenes in the big banks of the world and introduced it to the masses. And then guess who caught the vision? Our very own Tasha M. Dyer, the trade whisperer, the creator of the BYOB cash out strategy. Let me tell you about this phenomenal woman. She created a simple strategy where it doesn't matter if you're 6 or 86, you can learn a skill that will pay you for a lifetime. She could have kept it to herself, but she gets up Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Eastern every single Monday through Thursday to teach us the strategy, to teach us how to identify and create a relationship with the market, identify trade setups as well. She is a retired major from the U.S. Army, and guess what? She actually traded for the military. So do you think we're learning from the best of the best? She's a licensed financial advisor. I mean, she led hundreds of soldiers. She has her MBA in 2 separate categories. She's received award after award. She's a mom. She's a grandmother. She doesn't make any excuses. She just makes things happen. And we're fortunate enough to have been introduced to this strategy that allows for us to compound our money just as big banks do with our money behind the scenes every single day. And then we have Dr. Craig Bythewood, the finance doctor. He has his PhD in finance and economics. He is a consultant to millionaires, CEOs, CFOs who want to streamline their businesses. He's been a CFO himself. He's a professor. He's a girls basketball coach, and he wrote his dissertation on bank mergers and acquisitions, and he presents us with our prescription, our RX for FOREX, twice a week following this call. And on Thursday nights, he will answer any financial question that you can dream of, and he simplifies a subject, economics and finance, that has intentionally been made complicated so that there could be a separation of wealth. The 95% who fight after 5% of the wealth that's controlled by 5% of the population. So he makes that simple so that we can change the trajectory of our financial lives forever. And then we know that when we have great leadership, then it duplicates. So this is our second generation slide. This is the second generation of BYOB educators. Why? Because we're preparing for BYOB University. There's going to be a university in a city, town, state, country near you, and it starts with the second generation of educators, and we are just going to continue to multiply. So we have the likes of Antoine Sims. He's someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Has done amazing things in corporate America, led hundreds of managers, was responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue in the restaurant space. And he is our indice precisionist. That means he shows us what to do with the US 30, S&P 500, and the like. Then you heard about Joseph Washington, our pastor, our BYOB average average breaker. There's no such thing as average. There's only above average and beyond. And he makes sure that he shares with us the principles, the success tools that we need in order to implement daily to let average go. And then we have none other than Tritana Perry. Love and respect her, courageous woman of God. Ladies and gentlemen, she's had 31 years in the insurance industry, and she's our crypto igniter. She's a missionary. She teaches every week groups of people to go in and capitalize on that cryptocurrency, especially that Bitcoin that's been moving on up. And then we have none other than the trading diva, our HFX sniper, Miss Bonita Brantley, project manager, inventor, fashion designer, and she teaches us how to capture those binary options in just a matter of a couple of minutes because of her sniper eye, right? So we are in good hands with our second generation of educators. And then you have yours truly. I am the pit master. What I do is I break the basics down so that anyone who hears the strategy for the first time goes, wow, is that all we need to do to learn how to be our own banks? Yes. So my thing is, let's kiss. Let's keep it super simple. We want to simplify those things that have been made complicated by design so that we can break out of being average and take as many people who want to be broken out of average with us. Now, we talked about the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. We talked about 2 million families being impacted and empowered, and it starts with you. What do you need to do in order to attract these 2 million people along with us? You must start your day right. You must start your day focused on your spirit realm, right? We must connect with the source. So we start our day with prayer. We start our day with meditation. We start our day with journaling, making sure that we know where we're going, what our goals are, what we're committed to, right? We want to make sure we read every single morning, at least 10 pages a day. Do some exercises every morning. If you're not accustomed to doing exercises, start now. Do a little bit, do 1 or 2 push-ups a day and build from there. But what we have to do is everything in excellence. We operate in excellence. And this is one thing that we want you all to do when you are joining us on these Zoom calls. I want you to take a screenshot of our BYOB basics affirmations. Right? Because we know that words create, and it starts with your mindset. And so you want to start your day with these affirmations. You drop them in the chat when you join us on these Zoom lines. Why? Because you're creating your future in advance when you affirm exactly what you want and where you're going. So here we are. I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit, 100% profit. That's what we want, another hashtag, 100% profit. I am an educated trader. Therefore, I am a profitable trader. I am 777. I am anointed for wealth, and I am a billionaire. You have to see it before it materializes. You have to believe it. You have to say it. You have to write it. Get all of your senses involved in order to attract what you want. You have to vibrate high, because when you vibrate high, you have a positive mindset. Don't say anything you don't want to happen or create. Have positive vibes, right? Good vibrations. We all remember that song. If not, Google it, YouTube it. Good vibrations. And that will lead you to a positive life. See, who you surround yourself with, what you say, what you believe is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Birds of a feather flock together. That doesn't just rhyme. It is so true. Doctors hang out with doctors. Master traders hang out with master traders, right? So figure out what you want and create a circle of friends in that arena. Indicators. We want to understand these very important terms. We see indicators all the time, right? Our clocks were set back 1 hour. That's an indication of the seasons changing, right? We have indicators all around us. When we are driving our cars, we have red, green, and yellow lights. Those are indicators. They let us know when to go, when to stop, when to slow down, right? So when we are trading, we trade using indicators, and these are tools that are used to predict future prices. See, let's talk about what it is that we actually do. I want us all to have the strongest language and conversation and make it as simple and plain as possible. When someone asks you, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a trader. What does that mean? I am studying and analyzing the movement of price, and then our indicators let us know where prices are going. So if prices are traveling up or increasing, whether price is traveling down or decreasing for any market, for any asset that's exchanged in the market, we can profit. We're not purchasing anything. We're not hoping that an asset increases in value. No, that is investing. And that's what we're taught to do so that we can continue to be on the other side of money that we don't want to be on, the 95 percenters who are fighting over 5% of the wealth. What you want to do is operate in big bank frequency. So banks take our money, we deposit our money, they compound our money, they don't share with that revenue, and that is why they're billion-dollar organizations globally. So we're using these indicators. These are tools to predict future prices. So we are not investors. Investors purchase things, hold on to them, and hope they increase in value. We are traders. We analyze the direction of price and take profit either way, whether price is moving up or down. Very, very simple. Now, the three indicators that we use with the Be Your Own Bank cash out strategy include the stochastic. The stochastic is our leading indicator. It measures the momentum of price, and it gives clues about trend shifts. It's used to indicate when an asset moves into an overbought or an oversold position. So when we pull up our chart, I'm going to point out to you how to identify momentum, how to identify price on the chart, trend shifts, and I'm going to share with you what it means for price to be overbought or oversold and what it looks like in the charts. All right. The Hikinashi candles, this is our lagging indicator. This is a second indicator that we use. These are trend candles that help identify whether the market is pushing an asset's value up, down, or sideways. See, we start our analysis by understanding the foreign exchange market because that is the simplest market to lay your foundation upon. And then as we become more advanced, we begin to understand how indices move, the US 30, S&P 500, stock, options, cryptocurrency, commodities. We do it all, but our foundation is with FOREX. So when people say, do you do FOREX? No, that's just what we utilize when we're beginning to learn this strategy. We're not limited to FOREX, right? So Hikinashi candles, these are trend candles that help identify whether the market is pushing an asset's value up, down, or sideways. And then the third indicator that we use as beginners here with the strategy is the parabolic stop and reverse. We use these three whether we're beginners or not. This is our foundation. So this is another lagging indicator. It looks like a dot or a small cross that outlines candles, the Hikinashi candles, and the PSARs are used to determine your stop loss, your entry, and or your exit points for a trade. So the parabolic stop and reverse is simply a dynamic support and resistance lines. Support and resistance lines are like stop signs. So the parabolic stop and reversal, they travel with the Hikinashi candles, but they tell you, how far a price will travel up or down within a trend. All right, so these are our indicators. The lagging indicators are the Hikinashi candles and the parabolic stop and reverse. The stochastic is the leading indicator. That simply means that when we pull up a chart, we are going to look at the stochastic first because that is going to direct our steps as we analyze that particular asset in the market. So here we are, the IML Web Analyzer. That is the chart that we use. It's housed within iMarkets Academy. You want to definitely be enrolled in the Academy and have access to all the tools so that you can be equipped to be your own big bank. So this strategy is as simple as 1, 2, 3. What do you do first? Number one, you review your stochastic because it's your leading indicator. It's leading the way. It's telling you the direction and the momentum of price. Number two, review your Hikinashi candles. So your Hikinashi candles are going to be either red if price is dropping or green if price is increasing, right? And then number three, you're going to review your PSAR, the parabolic stop and reversal. Why? Because that will allow for you to understand, whether momentum is teetering out or just getting started, right? It'll show you your dynamic support and resistance areas. Now, let's talk about the steps to identifying price decreasing. So when we say sell, the definition of sell as a trader, when you're identifying a sell, it just means you're identifying that price is decreasing. See, we are not selling anything because we don't own anything. We're analyzing where price is going in the market. There are buyers and sellers that are behind the scenes buying and selling the assets that we're analyzing. And what we're doing is we're analyzing the direction of price based upon those actions that are being had behind the scenes when big institutions and banks are buying and selling. All right, so step number one, when you're looking for price to decrease, you're looking for, we call it, it's selling, it's decreasing. Number one, your stochastic. The stochastic is a blue and a red line, and it's going to be traveling around the 80 marker, which I'll show you on the chart. When the blue line crosses over the red line in a downward position, and then you know that you have a stronger sell, prices decreasing with momentum. When those lines are above the 80 marker and they curve down towards the 20 marker, then you know that you have a stronger sell. The higher it is, the stronger it's going to fall, right? Just like those saying. Number two, you identify the red candle with a flat top. And then this indicates a strong sell when you see the red candles or any candle with a flat top indicates strength when it's traveling down. So your objective is to identify the first candle that you see with the red top. And then the third step is it needs to have a dot above the red candle with a flat top, which is called your PSAR. The PSAR gives you added confirmation that your sell is strong, is going to push down, right? And you're going to be able to capture your profit. So if you're analyzing a buy, we're not buying anything. There's no purchasing going on between you and the market. What you're doing is analyzing what's happening as a result of other people and entities purchasing the asset. So that means price is increasing in value. So when you're looking to identify a buy, step number one is you want to review your stochastic. The stochastic is the blue and the red line that travels within a purple shaded area at the bottom of your chart. We'll show you that in a moment. But when the blue and the red line is around the 20 or below, then you expect it to turn around and go up. So that's what you're waiting to see. When price is oversold, you're waiting for it to turn around and increase in value. So that's the first thing you see. That's the first thing you watch for. Then number two, you look for a green candle with a flat bottom. green candle with a flat bottom. This indicates a strong buy or a strong increase in price. When a wick forms on the bottom of the candle, it indicates a trend reversal. So it's in strong momentum going up when the bottom is flat. But when a wick begins to form, that indicates that a trend reversal is coming. And then you want to have a peace sign or a small dot beneath the green candle with the flat bottom, and that adds for extra confirmation that it is a strong buy. So those are the indicators that we use in order to identify setups in the market. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up our tool, and it's called the vibrato. So I'm going to stop sharing my slides. I'm going to dip into the chart here, the vibrato, which directs our steps. When you know how to analyze this vibrato, then you know how to compound your way to wealth. So here we are. Let me clear this off of here. All right. And so let's look at these triggers. Now, firstly, let me back up. I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you about the spokesperson for the vibrato. Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, our visionary, he is so sought after that the individual who developed this web analyzer / vibrato, he went to Mr. Rogers for counsel to make sure that the tool was exactly what we needed in the academy in order to be able to operate in big bank frequency. Now, this tool, when you open up the tool, you will see a video of Mr. Gerald D. Rogers explaining why it's so significant that we even have access to a tool such as this, right? Now, when you think about that, this is a platform that is shared in 122 countries, millions upon millions of people. That's the first space they see Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, and he is the visionary that we have full access to 24, I won't say 24 hours a day. We have full access to him when he's available, when he makes himself available to us, right? And so we don't want to take that for granted. That adds tremendous value to the movement and who we are in partnership with. So I just want to let you know that we are working with the best of the best, the creme de la creme, right? So here we are inside of the vibrato. And on the left-hand side, we have triggers. These triggers appear when a correction is happening. So they are triggered in a correction. What does that mean to us? It means that we have a watch list available to us. When these triggers are appearing, it's saying, listen, look at me. I'm telling you, I'm trying to help you identify great, strong setups. So that is the purpose of having these triggers here. And so when you click on this first button, it is the FOREX alerts, and that's where you want to live as a beginner. Now, as you develop your skill set, as you have mastered the 1, 2, 3, 10 pips and out strategy, then that's when you want to make sure that you then dive into the other assets. But until then, you want to master the fundamentals. There's a basketball game going on right now. I think the Bucks are playing, if I'm not mistaken. But ladies and gentlemen, they didn't become professional athletes by not mastering the basics first. So that is exactly what we need to commit to in order to be able to compound our money just like the big banks of the world do. We want to master the basics. FOREX is the basics. So you want to learn how these assets, these currency pairs move and when they move so that you can be most effective. So here are the triggers. They're not signals. They're not telling you what to do or what to trade. They're giving you a nudge saying, look, there's a correction happening with EUR USD on the, oh, look, there's a new trigger there, GBP CAD. Let's click there. So it's telling you, look, there's a trigger. There's a correction happening on GBP CAD on the 15-minute chart. So you want to pay attention to this correction happening here, because when it breaks out of that correction, then that could be a great setup for a trade that you may be interested in taking. That is what this on the left, that's what these triggers are for. Now here you have your currency pair that we are analyzing. I just clicked on GBP CAD right here, and then it appeared right here. This chart is a reflection of price movement for GBP CAD, which is the British pound Canadian dollar currency exchange pair. Now, when you are setting up your charts, you want to make sure that you focus on the 5-minute chart. So you want to put a star by the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and the 1 hour. Those are the 3 charts that beginners want to master when you're analyzing price. The 5-minute, the 15, and the 1 hour, right? Your basis, your foundation is the 15-minute chart. So we'll walk through identifying a great trade setup in just a moment. Now here on the right, you see the actual prices where the currency pair will travel to and fro. Here at the bottom, this is the actual price, right? This is the actual price of the GBP CAD currency pair. So if you were going to buy the British pound, you would have to take 1.68. This is the value of the Canadian dollar that you would have to purchase the British pound. And so you see the actual price here, and then you see a trend price below it. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to where price is heading, right? You want to make sure you know how to identify when price is increasing and when price is decreasing. So let's look at the bottom of the chart. You see the time, and then when you place your cursor here on the chart, you can see the date as well. So when I put my cursor here, we are live. This is a live candle, right? It appears when we're on the 15-minute chart. This candle appears every 15 minutes. So if I click in the price column here, I can bring up this menu and click on countdown to bar close, and it'll show me a timer here to let me know that in 10 minutes and 40 some odd seconds, I'm going to have a brand new green candle that will appear, right? So that is what this is, the live candle. The end of these 2 lines, the blue and the red line, this is the live stochastic. Anything else to the left is historical data. It has already happened. But it's important that we understand how to evaluate historical data, because that will let us know where price is heading in the future. All right. So now let's talk about the stochastic. The stochastic is simply this blue and red line that travels in this purple shaded area, sometimes a little bit above it, sometimes a little bit below it, but it travels in this particular area here. So we want to make sure that you all understand the definition of being overbought and oversold. Overbought and oversold. So we use the example for gasoline. Now, in my lifetime, I won't say my lifetime, since I've been driving, I've seen gas prices fluctuate from like $2 to $4.50. I haven't seen anything in the Midwest more than $4.50, right? So when I know that price is at $4.50, that means that price is at an all-time high. So here, when we look at the stochastic, it travels from the 20 to the 80 and the 80 to the 20. The 80 is at the top, the 20 is at the bottom. So when price raises from the 20, the blue line crosses over the red and it travels to the 80, we know that price is at a high point. So what happens when price becomes overbought at this high point is that we are waiting for it to turn around and decrease in price. So this looks like it's increasing. It is increasing. But when it reaches the 80 marker or beyond, and then the blue line crosses over and begins to head down, now we're looking for a sales setup because price is decreasing. So you look for areas of price that are overbought because then you're waiting for price to turn around and begin to decrease. And you're looking for price to be oversold, which means that price headed from the 80 down to the 20, right? And when it's oversold at an all-time low, like the $2 gas, right? Then we're expecting for prices to begin to increase. So when a price is oversold, it is around the 20 or beneath the 20. And the blue line and the red line the blue line is going to cross over the red and begin to head up towards the 80. And that is why it's important as a beginner to be able to identify overbought stochastic and oversold stochastic price. Because when price is overbought, you're waiting for it to start to decrease and sell. When price is oversold, you're waiting for it to begin to increase so that you can enter a buy trade. Now, the next step in the process, if you're looking for price to increase, you have the blue line crossing over the red, heading in an upward momentum here. So the next thing you're going to do is look for a green candle with a flat bottom. So before I go towards or start explaining the Hikanashi candles, I want everybody to drop a 111 in the chat if you are crystal clear about overbought and oversold. If you're crystal clear about overbought and oversold, drop a 111. If you need clarity, drop a 222. If you need clarity, drop a 222. Why are we drilling this? You know, when you're on the basketball team, you have drills, right? For perfection. That's why we're drilling it. We want you not only to be able to identify overbought and oversold, we want you to then be able to teach someone else the same concept. All right. So the next step, we got a hot mic. If your mic is unmuted, please mute your mic. We want to keep the integrity of the call. All right. So now the next step, we're looking for a green candle with a flat bottom. We're looking for a green candle with a flat bottom.
I'm on mute.
And a peace star underneath the green candle with the flat bottom. All right. So that is the next step in the process. Green candle with a, yes, perfect practice makes perfect. You got that absolutely right. You don't want to be practicing imperfection because now you're not going to have 100% accuracy rate, right? So you want a green candle with a flat bottom and a peace star underneath the green candle. That is added momentum when you have the flat bottom and that peace star is pushing the price up. Remember, just remember, bottoms up, right? Bottoms up. So the stochastic is pointing up. The green candle flat bottom pointing up and the peace star is pushing that candle up. So that's giving you the momentum that you're looking for. So that is what you're looking for as it relates to your candle, your Hikanashi candle, and your peace star. So I'm going to drop an arrow there so that we can go to the 1 hour chart and the 5-minute chart to look for time frame confluence. Why do we need time frame confluence? Because when the 1 hour and the 5-minute are in agreement, which means that everything's moving in the same direction, then you have a higher percentage at winning your trade, right? So we look for time frame confluence for accuracy. So we're going to click on the 1 hour chart. I am going to look for the same moment in time. That's why I dropped this arrow here so that when I change charts, I would know exactly where to look. So now if you're here on the 1 hour chart, right, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and wider so we can have a bigger picture. to see what we would actually see real time. This is what we would have seen real time. Okay, so now this stochastic was pointing downward. It has a little itsy bitsy curve to it, and you have a green candle. Now, what are you looking for though when you are looking on the 1 hour chart? You want to see the stochastic pointing up for a buy and a green candle. If this was real time, this is what I would have seen right here. All right. So let me ask you a question, pop quiz. Is this stochastic pointing up or down? It's not a trick question. Is this stochastic pointing up or down? Exactly. Right? It's pointing down. So we would not take the trade because we need the stochastic to be pointing up with a green candle. Those are the two things you need to see on the 1 hour chart when you're going to be entering a trade that you began to analyze on the 15-minute chart. Absolutely. So you wouldn't take the trade. You would wait for the perfect alignment. All right. So if I move this candle over and I waited, right? Let's see what the stochastic looks like here. See how it's pointing up? The blue lines crossed over the red, pointing up, right? The red is curving up, and then you have a green candle here, right? So if you have the blue line crossing over the red, pointing up, the red is curving up, you have a green candle, boom. Now drop down to the 5 and check for confluence there. And what we look for on the 5-minute chart, the stochastic needs to be pointing up or either moving sideways. It cannot be pointing down. It needs to be for a buy, pointing up or moving sideways. And we definitely need a green candle. So here we are. This is what we would have seen on the 5-minute chart. So we have the stochastic is moving sideways, curving up a little bit. We have a green candle. The P-star is under the green candle. What we have confluence, I want you all to drop a yes or no if you think that's confluence on the 5-minute chart. Drop a yes if you believe yes, no if you believe no. Absolutely. You have confluence on the 5-minute chart because the stochastic is moving sideways. It's even curving up a little bit and you have a green candle. So that indicates that you do have confluence. So again, on the 1 hour chart, you need the stochastic to be pointing up. You need a green candle. On the 5-minute chart, you need the stochastic to be traveling up or moving sideways and a green candle. And typically on the 5-minute chart, you will also have a P-star, right? So here we are. That is how you identify an entry and your foundation. You start your analysis on the 15-minute chart. Questions, comments, testimonies, questions. Is that clear to everyone? Does everyone know how to identify an entry for a buy? 111 if you're clear. 111 in the chat if you're clear. If you feel like, yes, I see it, I can teach it, I can execute it, I'm ready, I'm ready. Who's ready? Drop a 111 in the chat. You ready? You ready for 6 figures in 6 months? Absolutely. This is going to be the year of the 6-figure and 6-month testimony. We're going to drop every testimony in all areas of social media. For GBB peers, we don't use the 30-minute instead of the 1 hour anymore. We never used it instead of. We used it if the 1 hour was not really strong, then we would drop down to the 30 for GBP for confluence. So yes, you can still use the 30-minute, When you see the 1 hour, maybe the stochastic is pointing up, but the candle is a doji candle, is going from red to green, then you can drop down to the 30, and then you can check for confluence on the 30-minute because of the liquidity in the GBP pairs. However, we just keeping this real basic tonight, because if you do it the way I just described, you will end in profit. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's identify an awesome sales setup. Okay, we want to make sure you let people know we don't care if price is increasing or decreasing. We are going to compound either way because we are analysts. We analyze the market for movement. We want it to move. When it moves, we move just like that. Right? So let's take this arrow off because we're talking about something totally different now. So here we are. We got the blue line crossing over the red, heading downward. The price is overbought. We expect price to drop. So we want the blue line crossing over the red around the 80, heading down towards the 20. That's the first thing we look for on the 15-minute chart. And then we're going to look for a red candle with a flat top, right? So here's the crossover. Here's it heading down. I go up to my Hikinashi candles. I got some doji candles here. That's not what I want. I have a red candle flat top here. No PSR above it. That's not what I want. Red candle flat top here. No PSR above it. That's not what I want. So guess what I'm doing? I'm being what? I'm being patient so that I'm not going to say, well, you know what? It's heading down. The stochastic's heading down. So I don't need to wait for the PSR. No, you need to wait for the red candle, flat top, and PSR above it. So you have to be patient. Everybody drop a PPP in the chat for patience. PPP in the chat for patience, right? Patience will lead you to profit. Patience, profit will lead you to compounding your way to 6 figures in 6 months, right? Patient. Warren Buffett says that patient traders the market pays patient traders, and the market is funded by impatient traders. So we don't want to be funding the market. We want to be cashing out and compounding. So we're going to wait. Here we have a red candle with a little wick at the top. That's not what we want. Boom. Finally, here is the red candle flat top. I love it when Miss Dyer says, look, if you can wait for your retirement for 40 years and it's a fraction of what you were making when you were working, surely you can wait a half hour for the right candle, right? To compound your account, become 6 figures in 6 months wealthy, right? Keep compounding yourself to wealth. So we have the stochastic heading down. We have the red candle right here with the flat top. This one had a wick. It had a PSR, but there was a wick. So we don't want that. We wait here. Here's the red candle, flat top, PSR above the candle. I'm going to move my cursor over so you can see that PSR above this red candle. So that is what we would say, okay, now is the time for me to make sure I have confluence on the 1 hour chart and the 5-minute chart. If you don't have confluence on the 1 hour chart, there is no need to look at the 5-minute because the 1 hour is the head of the household. It is leading. It's telling you the trend of the market and where you should be going. So now I'm going to the 1 hour and I am going to look for my arrow. All right, so here's my arrow. So now I am looking for the stochastic to be pointing down and I need a red candle. Let's see what we have. I'm going to bring this all the way over to the edge so that we can see what we would see real time. All right, what direction is this stochastic pointing in? Up or down? Drop it in the chat. Up or down? Is this stochastic right here at the edge pointing up or down? Yep, we got one up. Who else agrees? It's pointing up. Pointing up, pointing up. So would we take this sale if this we expect for price to decrease, but the stochastic is pointing up? It absolutely not. That's right, Olympia. Absolutely. No, we would not, absolutely not take the trade because we don't have confluence, right? So we would have to wait. We would have to wait. We would have to wait, wait for this candle, right? So now, if we took this to the edge, right, we see, oops, what is my stochastic? My blue line, boom, is pointing down. It's crossing over the red, pointing down, right? We got the red candle pointing down. So now I can check my 5-minute chart and look for my arrow. See if I have confluence. Here we are. This is what I see. So let me bring this all the way over to the edge. So here you would see the stochastic is moving sideways. So it either needs to be moving down or sideways. On the 5-minute is sideways. We got a red candle. Let's go back to my 15. Want to make sure we're straight there as well because I moved the arrow over. So what do we see here? The stochastic is still pushing. We got a red candle flat top. We got a P-star above it. So now it's still moving. We would have taken the trade. We could have taken our 10 pips, waiting for that 1 hour candle. So any questions, comments, testimonies before we move away from the BYOB cash out strategy? Questions, comments, testimonies? Questions. If you're clear, drop a 111 in the chat. If you have clarity, drop a 111 in the chat. Clarity, clarity. 111. Excellent. That's how simple it is, you all, to compound your way to 6 figures in 6 months. So as long as you're patient, as long as you don't, get greedy, as long as you don't add anything to the potato salad. Don't you bring them raisins and put them in the potato salad. You on here? Don't bring those raisins into the potato salad. Don't add anything to the strategy. Don't take anything away. You have to be patient so you will profit, right? All right, let's talk about compounding our way to success. Love raisins. I do too, but not in the potato salad. Danielle, we get them, Danielle. We need to look at this. I love it. You're 777 in the chat, the NAS, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is talk about the 8th wonder of the world. Is this anybody else's favorite topic other than mine? Drop a 777 in the chat if you love talking about the 8th wonder of the world. Drop a 777 in the chat if you love. This is one of my favorite topics of all time. The 8th wonder of the world, compounding your way to wealth. If you understand this concept, you will earn. You will earn. If you don't, you'll pay. We are conditioned to compound out. We're conditioned to buy homes and get a 30-year mortgage. We're compounding out. We're conditioned to go get a car loan. That's compounding out. We're conditioned to get a lease on the car. And when your 3 years is up, guess what? You're going to go get another lease. You're going to continue to compound the rest of your life because that's what we're taught to do. If you're paying interest on a credit card, you are compounding out. If you're paying interest on financial aid, right, you are compounding out. These are all things that most people are conditioned to do and believe it's okay because we're taught we need to get that formal education. We need to go out, get that nice car, the nice house with the white picket fence that we don't pay cash for so that we can compound out the rest of our lives. And guess what? That keeps us on that 95% side instead of the 5% side. So let's look at the compounding chart. It's very simple. All you want to do is understand that as you are compounding your way to 6 figures, We are going to start with one trade a day. And this is a low risk strategy, right? You deposit $500 in your live account only after you have mastered your skill set in the demo account. Only after you've mastered your skill set in the demo account do you open your live account and begin to trade in your live account. So for 6 figures in 6 months, we're going to deposit $500 in our live account, and we are going to take one trade a day, 5 days a week at minimum. 5% is our profit for each trade. So as our balance increases, our profit is going to increase because our lot size will increase. So we have the beginning balance, the percent of profit, the profit goal in dollars. We're going for 10 pips per trade. And this is the lot size that we start with, 0.25. Because if you multiply 5% times 500, you get $25, right? So your lot size, you take the $25 that you would get as profit, you move your decimal place over twice, and that's the lot size that you're going to enter into your MetaTrader for before you take your trade. That's going to communicate to your broker, look, I want 5% of my account deposited into my broker account when this trade ends in profit. That is what your lot size is for. And we never enter a trade without a stop loss. So the PSAR will direct where your stop loss will go. So make sure you tune into one of the BYOB basics videos. I love Miss Dyer's 6-minute video that teaches the strategy, and she explains where your stop loss should go in that video. All right, so this is your compounding your way to 6 figures in 6 months, right? You start with 500. After 20 trades, you have 1326 in your account. Just think about that multiplication. It's even bigger than multiplication. It's compounding. So $500 balance month 1, 1,300 month 2, 3,500 month 3, 9,300 month 4, 24,000 month 5. 65,000 is the beginning balance of month 6. You compound your way, 20 trades will turn that 65,000 to $174,000 in 6 months. You withdraw that 100,000. I want you to drop a 777 in the chat. 6 figures, 6 months. You all know how to do it. You have been practicing the skill set. The strategy is clear. And then we're compounding our way to 8 figures after that in 12 months. If you're excited, drop a 888 in the chat. If that excites anybody, knowing that if you just get this half right and you do 50,000 in 6 months, you got 100,000 a year part-time. Part-time, ladies and gentlemen. Just think about part-time jobs right now, what they're paying. They're not paying a fraction of what we can do with this skill. So in the beginning, it starts slow. It will begin to increase. Why? Because your lot size will increase. You will have $1,000 days, you all. $10,000 days. So ride the wave. Understand the market, develop a relationship with it, get your phones out so you can understand how to stay plugged in. If you're brand new, here are our resources. BeYourOwnBankMovement.com. Get with the person who invited you on. Make sure you're plugged in and that you have access to these resources. Our YouTube channel, you want to text BYOB cash out to 904-567-0634. Telegram, you want to be added to the Telegram chat. We cash out all day, every day in the Telegram chat. When you see a 777, that means that profit has been added into someone's broker account. And then you want to be a part of our Clubhouse community. You want to be enrolled in the academy and stay enrolled. You stay plugged in, you stay turned on, you stay current, you have access to the premier tools that big banks around the globe utilize to compound your money when you deposit money in the bank. And stay tuned into the Zoom events, and you can see the recordings on our YouTube channel. We have a rewards program. Membership of BYOB has its privileges. So we pay those who enroll. You get a $200 restaurant voucher. You get paid trips for PIPs. So make sure that you go to the Be Your Own Bank website. Watch the rewards program video for all of the details. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you know you're responsible for emailing proof of your enrollment, your trades, your points to beyourownbankmovement@gmail.com. All it takes is for you to move, get up in the morning, get on the Zoom calls, understand the skill set, practice it in your demo account. Your results will be your utopia. And 2 million families educated and empowered by March 28th, 2022. Let's do it. Let's operate in big bank frequency. And with that being said, it is my privilege to turn this platform over to a gentleman I have nothing but the utmost respect for. You heard about him earlier. He has his PhD in finance and economics. He wrote his dissertation on bank mergers and acquisitions. He knows how to simplify this topic and make it enjoyable. He is a ton of fun. He has a wealth of information. He has a huge heart, a caring spirit. He operates in high frequency. He vibrates high at all times. He is my friend. He's a coach. He's a mentor to many millionaires. He's billionaire bound. Please help me bring to our Zoom platform none other than the RX for FOREX, Dr. Craig Bythewood. Dr. Bythewood, are you there?
Yes, I am, Miss Tanya Anderson. Thank you so much